Welcome back to all of the students of Yeshua HaMashiach, Yeshua the Christ. And we are so very excited to be back with you guys for a brand new evening of our global master class. Three things I need you, every one of you, to have tonight. Number one, I need you to have the greatest weapon in history, the gospel of Christ. If you don't have the physical King James Version, it is imperative that you get the electronic version. Great to see all of you guys, Apostle Sam, Apostle Jody Bird, Pastor Simon, Apostle Ellis Ewing. The link is right beside all of these great men of God, their names, Pastor Simon, which is King James, the King James link, because it's imperative that you follow along. That's number one. Number two, make sure you have 2 to 3 pens. And number three, make sure you have a large notebook. Great to see you, Pastor Corey Swain, Pastor Sippy, my daughter. Great to see all of you guys. Amen. And Lord, forgive me for saying amen. See, God is still working on me too. So I'm excited. And I want to announce as well, one of our pastors, Pastor Dave, sent me a message and that P. Diddy had died. And I checked with my contacts, and also great to see you, Pastor Dave, and also checked with my staff. And they're saying it's true that he's dead. Now, this clone that's going to be revealed to the American public is not P. Diddy. Did not I tell you, did not the bishop tell you that P. Diddy was going to die? Now, if you tell the average person this, they think you're crazy. They think you're lying, okay? And I told you they were not going to allow him to live. So they're going to prop up a clone, because the powers that be in this country and around the world did not want Diddy to talk. He was talking too much. Thank you, Pastor Solar Flare. He was talking too much. All right. You see that, Apostle Ty, Apostle Carlotta, Pastor Big Rob, Pastor Dr. Charles Shelby. Great to see you, man of God. And so we're told, and that's what we're told as well, Pastor Colin, that it was not recent. But in actuality, it was 4 months ago. You guys remember the lecture the bishop did some time ago, around the time that Queen Elizabeth had apparently died, supposedly died. And the reason why I say supposedly died, because she actually died, Queen Elizabeth, going back a few months after the global shutdown in June of 2020. Okay. And so said it like, thank you, Pastor Simon. You see, it's prophetical. So have the word of the Lord, the physical word of the Lord, or the electronic version. That's number one. Number two, I need you to have 2 to 3 pens. And number three, I need you to have a large notebook. Thank you so much. Diddy's photos from a few years ago to today are not the same man. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. Not the same man. And Pastor Colin is right. It was actually 4 months ago. I didn't know this until yesterday, okay? So I had to confirm it, reconfirm it, because here at Global Spiritual Revolution Media Group, Los Angeles, New York, we don't throw stuff up against the wall to see if it's going to stick, okay? We do our research, our due diligence, and because these are receipts. This is deep, Pastor Sam. And the next one who will fall is Jay-Z. Jay-Z. He's the next one. He's not in the United States, okay? To my understanding, he's in Costa Rica because there is no extradition in Costa Rica But President Trump said he's going after all of these devils. Okay? Heavenly Father, send forth thy truth, for thy word is the truth. Speak to me, speak through me to your people in Christ's holy name. It is critically important for all of you to get your fellow patriots, get them off of Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter X, Telegram, Gab, BitChute, the Patriot Network. Because what I am going to say concerning these hurricanes, and I want to say this before we get into the word of the Lord. What is happening in Georgia and North Carolina, and what is going to happen in Florida was by design. Let me say this again. What happened in Georgia, what happened in North Carolina, and what is going to happen in Florida, what happened in North Carolina and Georgia is by design. Do you guys, it's weather manipulation, direct energy weaponry. Do you guys remember, oh Lord, was it a year ago, we talked about the Maui conspiracy? And who is behind this? BlackRock. I'll explain it. I invite your attention tonight to the book of the Revelation of St. John the Divine. Revelation chapter 6, verses 2, 4, 5, and 8. Revelation chapter 6, verses 2 and 4 and 5 and 8. Also, the gospel according to St. Matthew. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, Pastor Colleen, I feel an anointing. Matthew chapter 24, verse 20. Thank you, Pastor Dave. Matthew 24, verse 20. The key verse that I want all of you to concentrate on tonight will come out of the book of Isaiah the prophet. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 5, verses 12 and 13. And I want to say this before we get into the word. Do you guys remember Kamala Harris supposedly went to North Carolina? And the only people she saw was a family of black folk. She saw a black family. That family, as you turn to Revelation, and you're not going to see this on Google, you're not going to hear it on the Crack News Network, you're not going to hear it on MSDNC, NBC, ABC. As you go to Revelation 6 and 2. And so these few black folk that Kamala Harris supposedly spoke to near Asheville, North Carolina, were not from Asheville nor from Carolina, north or south. This family was from Atlanta, Georgia. Nothing but lies, Apostle Sam. They flew them up, the Harris campaign, and you're not going to find this online. So don't email me, don't call my office in New York, don't call us here, or I didn't see it on Google, okay? She's a fraud, Apostle Ty and Apostle Carlotta. The family was from Atlanta, Georgia, who were flown to Asheville, North Carolina via Charlotte. But most of that area is white. This was intentional. Revelation chapter 6, beginning with verse number to. It's disgusting. You can't talk to anyone near Asheville, North Carolina, but you got to go all the way down to Atlanta, fly up a black family and shake their hands for a photo op. It's a scam, ladies and gentlemen. Revelation chapter 6, verse number 2. Hear ye the word of the Lord. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. Bow, crown. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. That was the first horse, a white horse. Verse number 4. And there went out another horse that was red, a red horse, the second horse. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, the color red, communism and socialism. Drop down to verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, man, I feel the anointing here tonight, Apostle True Witness. I heard the third beast say, come and see, or common sense. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, the third horse, a black horse. Interesting. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. The Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, the Committee of 300, the Hidden Hand, the Council of 1,000, and the Council according to national policy. The third horse in verse 5 is a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand, singular. Verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, the fourth horseman. The pale horse, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, 17 trillion in all. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth, the four corners of the deep state, the four branches of the corporation called America. The gospel, according to St. Matthew, oh, there's an anointing here tonight. Matthew chapter number 24, verse number 20. The gospel, according to St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse number 20. Hear ye the word of the Lord. But pray ye that your flight, not just your fight, but your flight be not in the winter. The fourth season, spring, summer, fall, and winter, 4 horsemen. But pray that your flight be not during the third branch or the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Your spiritual consideration, students, quickly will come out of the Old Testament in the book of the major prophet called Isaiah. Isaiah, who was also an apostolic priest within the apostolic economy of God. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 12, hear ye the word of the Lord. And the harp, listen, Saul, and the harp, listen, David, and the harp, highlight that term, and the viol, the tabret, and pipe, and wine, and in their feasts, but they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operations of his hand. The harp, the viol, the tabret, the pipe, the wine, their feasts, they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operation of his hand. But you notice in verse 13, therefore my people are gone into captivity. Why? Because they have no knowledge. Therefore my people have gone into captivity. Why? Because they have no knowledge. And the honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. The mind of God has led me to begin a brand new series entitled Harp, the Political Weapon of Intention. Lord have mercy. Harp, the political weapon of intention. Students, there is a great distinction between authenticity versus transparency. You have been taught in the past that both are the same entity. That is not true. Just because an individual is their authentic self doesn't mean that he or she is truly transparent. Lucifer was authentic in his demonic scheme, but Lucifer can never be transparent because that is not his nature. The twin brother of Abel, a man by the name of Cain. Cain was filled with authenticity, but Cain did not have transparency. Kamala Harris in the Democratic Party are authentic, for they believe that they are carriers of democracy. They believe in communism, socialism, fascism, and any type of ism that carries a demonic root. But Kamala Harris is not transparent. There was a man in history by the name of Vladimir Lenin. the father of Leninism and offspring of the 1848 Communist Manifesto, through two lovers, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, where they used the terms build back better, but both Marx and Engels, though they were authentic, but they lacked transparency because their teachings are rooted in hell. Kamala Harris has perfected the art of the rope-a-dope. She has perfected the art of roping and doping the media and for manipulating the masses through her demonic authentic self, but she lacks the power of transparency. Kamala Harris will never tell you that the term opportunity economy was first coined by Marx and Engels. An opportunity economy was first coined by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels as early as 1847, the year before the worldwide publishing of the Communist Manifesto. Authentic, but no transparency. Vladimir Lenin, Leon Trotsky, and Joseph Stalin were masters of authenticity, but they lacked the power of transparency. Lenin, Trotsky, and Stalin were carriers of a Soviet doctrine called opportunity economy. What does that mean? It's witchcraft, smoke and mirrors. Thank you, Pastor Michelle. There are three things that Kamala says is an opportunity economy. She grew up in a middle-class home. 2, her neighbor's lawn was manicured. And 3, she worked at McDonald's. That has nothing to do about bringing down inflation, bringing down energy, bringing down the mortgage in the rent. That has nothing to do with policy. It's authentic, but it's not transparent. Harp, the political weapon of intention. Back in 2011, a drunk Kamala Harris was involved in a hit-and-run accident where a mother and a daughter were just coming out of a movie theater, just saw Pirates of the Caribbean, and a drunk Kamala Harris hit a young woman, the woman's daughter, and her daughter is now paralyzed, and she's already contacted the Trump campaign. Authentic, but not transparent. God spoke to me this morning and said, Bishop, tell the students that the United States is suffering from a political and a spiritual autoimmune disease battle. They are experiencing an autoimmune disorder, and tell them that they are battling against an autoimmune syndrome. What is autoimmune disorder and syndrome? When the body attacks itself. Because the body cannot distinguish nor differentiate between the body's own cells and the foreign cells outside of the body. The United States is in the midst of an autoimmune syndrome conspiracy, where the body of our nation is attacking itself through weather manipulation and weather modification. There are CIA patents that I want you guys to write down. U.S. Patent 361-3992, then the letter A, weather modification through the National Science Foundation, subsidized by U.S. intelligence through a man by the name of Robert G. Knollenberg, Knollenberg. U.S. Patent 2550-324A, the process for controlling weather through controlling human personality, human animal. In connection to the patent US 258-07A, of manipulating events through the manipulation of thought combined with weather modification to bring about a political outcome. Process for controlling weather through a man by the name of Mr. Harvey M. Brandau, Brandau. These are receipts. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. The United States government has been practicing weather manipulation, weather modification since the early 1940s. That technology they stole from the Third Reich through Operation Paperclip. I said it, Operation Paperclip. The process of controlling weather is when the object of this invention is the control of weather by dissipating typhoons, hurricanes, other storm centers by the dissipation, and the term dissipation means debauchery, decadence, dissolution, draining, depletion, and disappearing, causing thereby hail storms, lightly modifying the modifications of rivers, lakes, streams, and seas. According to the National Weather Modification Policy of 1976, it thereby directs the Secretary of Commerce. What does the Secretary of Commerce and Labor have anything to do with hurricanes? I'll come back to that. Through the 1976 National Weather Modification Policy, it directs the Secretary of Commerce to conduct a comprehensive study of the state of scientific knowledge concerning weather modification and weather manipulation technology. You'll see this on congress.gov, the National Weather Modification Policy of 1976. You see, students, the devil, he's not hiding this anymore. So we go from the National Weather Modification Policy of 1976, going back 4 years earlier, to the Weather Modification Act of 1972. Through 15, the United States Code 15, Section 330, requires all persons, get this, who conduct weather modification activities within the United States or its territories, reports such activities to the United States Secretary of Commerce. What does the Secretary of Commerce, Trade, and Labor have anything to do with hurricanes? I'll come back to that. At least 10 days prior to and after undertaking such activities. Thank you, apostles. It's land grabs. The National Oceanic and Atmosphere Service Modernization Act, in connection to rural areas outside of city limits that do not currently, get this, have access to the National Weather Radio Alert System. Western North Carolina. Patents for capital A, then numbers 01, then capital G, -15, devices or methods for influencing weather conditions. It gets deeper. U.S. Patent 20110-123-314, which is an apparatus and method for forced convection. convection, forced convection or convections of seawater. Well, the term convection simply means, students, the movement of particles through a substance, transporting their heat energy from hotter areas to cooler areas, thereby manipulating the local weather patterns. Convections. The Chinese patent of CN 102-047826A, a patent for an aircraft device for treating weather and manipulating thereby political outcomes of that particular nation. The U.S. Patent 201-10-1124A1, the hurricane abatement system and method, the modification of cool air above a body of water, thereby controlling the category of a given hurricane, where the United States government through Haarp can also manipulate the category of a storm from Cat 1 to Cat 5. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. A man by the name of David A. Roberts, connected to U.S. intelligence, U.S. Patent 201, 101, 01, 124A1, the hurricane abatement system and method of manipulating the categories of a given hurricane. This is wicked, ladies and gentlemen. Haarp, the political weapon of intention. I'm laying foundation. Cloud seeding. Here we go. The cooling of seas. Laser inversion. Offshore wind turbines. All connected to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration under hurricane modification. From the mid-1960s to the mid-1980s, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration created Project Storm Fury. Oh, Lord have mercy. In connection to the Central Intelligence Agency. Project Storm Fury, STORMFURY. According to the Current Intelligence Weekly Summary on the CIA's website, cia.gov, or type in on google.com, Current Intelligence Weekly Summary. Current Intelligence Weekly Summary. Project Storm Fury. They're not even hiding this. CIA.gov/reading rooms/document. When you go to the CIA's Current Intelligence Weekly Summary, under CIA.gov, click on the file attachment 153-93249. It's a PDF copy. Also of the National Foreign Assessment Center, the 17th of November, 1978, 2 years after the National Weather Policy Act of 1976. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. It's on the CIA's website. It says on that link right beside Pastor Colleen's name, under Current Intelligence Weekly Summary, Project Storm Fury, CIA.gov, when you click on that link right beside Pastor Colleen's name, and then click on the file attachment, under Current Intelligence Work, it talks about the National Foreign Assignment Center at the CIA on the 17th of November, 1978, 2 years after the activation of the 1976, the National Weather Policy Act. The USSR, the Soviet Union, in China also had weather modification technology and research. The Soviet program of the 1950s, the Chinese program of the 1950s. CIA.gov, weather modification, or CIA, then FOIA.CIA.gov. Click on the attachment CIA RDP 68, the letter R, 0053A. CIA.gov, weather modification, CIA space FOIA.CIA.gov. Under the found attachment, on the found attachment, click on that. And the attachment number is RDP6AR0053A. And there's more numbers after that. It talks about the General Sciences Division of the Astrogeophysics branch of the Central Intelligence Agency. Under the subject, weather modification. The Interagency Conference on Weather Modification, sponsored by the National Science Foundation, the Atmospheric Sciences section of the National Science Foundation through Dr. Earl G. Drossler, DROSSLER. The PDF copy on page 3, and we'll put these links up after the class tonight throughout social media and on YouTube. The Interagency Conference on Weather Modification, sponsored by the National Science Foundation. This is heavy. The Atmospheric Sciences section of the National Science Foundation through Dr. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. Oh my, you are the best, Pastor Colleen. All your moderators, all the pastors, you're the best. Right beside Pastor Colleen's name, when you click on that link right beside Pastor Colleen's name, a PDF copy will appear that's declassified. On page 3 of that PDF link, under federal support for weather modification in the millions of dollars, there are agencies throughout the U.S. government who are practicing weather modifying techniques on a global scale. Now, the U.S. Department of Commerce. What does the U.S. Department of Commerce, Trade, and Labor have anything to do with hurricanes? The U.S. Department of Commerce, can I take my time? The United States Department of Commerce, the executive department of the U.S. federal government, connected with promoting the conditions, thank you, Apostle Sam, for economic growth and opportunity economy. The logo of the U.S. Department of Commerce is a ship, maritime law. The economic and demographic data for business and government decision-making to set industrial standards. Listen, North Carolina. The U.S. Department of Commerce, created on February 14th, 1903, and was later renamed the Department of Commerce on March 4th, 1913, where labor was transferred to the new Department of Labor. Notice the term laboratory. General Electric Laboratory, I'll get to that. Laboratory laboratory. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office was thereby transferred from the Interior Department into the Commerce Department in 1925. The U.S. Department of Management and conservation of most federal lands. Here's your land grab. Federal lands, natural resources, especially of the resources of lithium. It gets deeper. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to Wikipedia, and Pastor Colleen, type in federal lands on Wikipedia. These are receipts. Harp, the political weapon of intention. On Wikipedia, under the title federal lands, including gold, thank you, Pastor Romans. Under federal lands on Wikipedia, thank you, Pastor Colleen, there is a photo of the United States. And it talks about those states that are painted in red are federal lands. How about the lands that are not painted in red? Those lands in the United States are privately owned. I want you to hear me tonight. They are privately owned. Listen, Rothschilds. Listen, Priskers. Listen, Bill Gates. They are privately owned. Federal lands under Wikipedia. Federal land, the federal public land surface and subsurfaces. Notice on that map in Western North Carolina, it's in red. Now, my contact said the day before the Hurricane Helene, the day before the hurricane hit North Carolina, that Wikipedia spot on the western part of North Carolina was not in red. So the lands that are painted in red are owned by the United States government. But those lands not painted in red are privately owned lands, though they're called the United States of America. This is a scam, ladies and gentlemen. Harp, the political weapon of intention. Notice Western North Carolina. Notice Southwestern Florida. Listen, Milton. Massive lithium deposits, not just in Western North Carolina, but in Southwestern Florida. Lithium ion deposits both in Western North Carolina and Southwest Florida. Here comes Milton. So lithium is going to be used to build thousands of electric cars and hybrid cars. There's your Green New Scam deal. See, these hurricanes are not just happening for no reason. Lithium, not just for the creation of electric and hybrid cars that would destroy both the automotive and the oil industry, but lithium is also a mood stabilizer to treat bipolar patients. Harp, the political weapon of intention. There is a PDF copy on google.com. Lithium in North Carolina. Lithium in North Carolina. Final lithium in North Carolina PDF. Here are the following corporations. The Foote, F-O-O-T-E Mineral Company. And if you get a chance, Pastor Colleen, if you get a chance, let's examine that PDF copy. Lithium in North Carolina. It's on deq.nc.gov. deq.nc.gov, or Lithium in North Carolina. It's a governmental site representing the state of North Carolina. The Foote, F-O-O-T-E Mineral Company once operated the Kings Mountain lithium mines. Thank you, Pastor Conley. These are receipts. From 1938 to 1988, the Foote, F-O-O-T-E Mineral Company operated the Kings Mountain Lithium there in Western North Carolina from 1938 to 1988 for a protracted period of 50 years. This is a North Carolina government website. Now there's a corporation, listen, patriots, by the name of the Albermarle Corporation, capital A-L-B-E-M-A-R-L-E, the Albermarle Corporation now owns the Kings Mountain lithium mines in Western North Carolina, who also owns massive lithium deposits in southwestern Florida. Listen, Milton. To begin lithium production by 2027. Somebody may mention of the Piedmont Corporation. Piedmont Lithium built a 1,500 acre lithium mine in Gaston County, North Carolina, 30 miles west of Charlotte. It gets deeper. When you go back to that Wikipedia link under federal laws, you notice the map. Those states that are not in red are privately owned states. You thought because we defeated the British through the American Revolutionary War that we won the war, but Great Britain still owns us. The states in red are owned by the District of Columbia in Washington. The states that are not in red are privately owned states. There you go, Pastor Apostle Benjamin. Western North Carolina and Southwest Florida, notice, even in the state of Wyoming, filled with massive brush fires as we speak, but it's a federal owned land. Type this in on Google Images. Type this in on Google Images. General Electric Research Laboratory, or notice the first 5 letters. You can also type this on google.com. General Electric Research Laboratory, or Labor Actory. Labor. Now, the term actory, A-T-O-R-Y, is actually a Roman Empire term meaning enslavement. Labor and its enslavement of the masses. Laboratory, General Electric Research Laboratory. Also, thank you, Pastor Charity. You can type in on either google.com or Google Images. History of Project Cyrus. Capital CIRRUS. History of Project Cyrus. So we have General Electric Research Laboratory. History of Project Cyrus. We are exposing the United Nations here, Pastor Truth. Capital CIRRUS. Barrington S. Havens, Havens, July 1952. It's a PDF copy as well. Report number RL-756, July 1952. Project Cyrus, right beside Pastor Colleen's name. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we're living in a time. Yes, we walk by faith and not by sight, but we're living in a fallen society in the fallen world where people have to see proof. And I don't blame you. General Electric Research Laboratory, History of Project Cyrus, Barrington S. Havens, PR Services Division, July 1952. It also talks about going back to 1947 and also later in 1952, there was a flight path that activated History of Project Cyrus, CIRRUS, a flight path, NOAA 42P3, P, which is in Paul 3, 9:54 p.m., Lockheed Martin Orion P3 airplane. Lockheed WC 130B, obtained by RFF from the United States Air Force, Project Storm Fury. STORMFURY. Wait a minute now. So this goes back to the 1940s up until 1952 and beyond. Flight path NOAA, the National Oceanic Service. What does the United States government and Lockheed Martin have anything to do with North Carolina and Georgia? Project Storm Fury, through cloud seeding, ladies and gentlemen, where the United States government, through Operation Paperclip, stole SS Third Reich science technology through Operation Paperclip after World War II and used it against the American people. In the 1960s, it gets deep. Manipulate Hurricane Camille. In the 1960s, the United States government manipulated through cloud seeding Hurricane Camille. I had to use wisdom. Thank you, Pastor Sam. Camille, CAMILLE. In the 1960s, the United States, through cloud seeding, weather warfare, weather modification, manipulated Hurricane Camille in order to institute weather warfare upon Cuba. Hurricane Camille, August 1969, through p-3publications.com. P, like in Paul, -3 publications.com. Hurricane Camille, August 1969. It's a PDF copy. It says, and I quote, the U.S. Department of Treasury, it talks about even when Cuba was targeted by the CIA through the weather modification of the Hurricane Camille. Even in that PDF document, it talks about the United States government going back to January 1920. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. The U.S. Department of Treasury poisoned alcohol during Prohibition. And people died because of the 18th Amendment on January 1920. The United States government banned the manufacturing, the sale, and the transportation of alcohol, but the United States government did not ban the consumption of alcohol. So alcoholism skyrocketed during this era. Why do you think the United States government took over not just the alcohol industry after Prohibition died, but also the United States took over the lottery system? That's another topic for another day. Who was the first people that practiced the numbers? It was black folk out of Harlem. Until the Five Families, the Italian mafia took over that, and eventually the United States government took over the number games and the number rackets. That's now called the lottery system. Another topic for another day. Harp, the political weapon of intention. Stay there in Revelation 6:2. United States Public Health Division lied about treating black men with syphilis for more than 40 years because of the Tuskegee Institute conspiracy. The Pentagon Papers, through the 1962 Operation Northwoods, when even in 1962, the United States government, through the Pentagon, wanted to excavate lithium out of the southern states through Operation Northwoods. Now, Asheville, North Carolina. Great to see you, Pastor Jackie. Say there in Revelation 6:2, I'm laying foundation concerning Haarp, the political weapon of intention. Is your minds blown tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, or is your mind? So pull up those faces if your minds are blown tonight. Asheville, North Carolina has the richest deposits of lithium in the world. The largest lithium corporation, and you guys remember that Lithium Corporation, Albermarle Corporation, the Albermarle Corporation, the largest lithium corporation, 3 days before Hurricane Helene, submitted their permits outside of Asheville, North Carolina, whereas the government of the United States gave the Albermarle Corporation a $250 million grant 3 days before Hurricane Helene in order to construct the lithium mines in western North Carolina. You are dealing with the synagogue of deception. Before Hurricane Helene, BlackRock. Thank you, Pastor Martin. You see, they have a website. The Albermarle Corporation received a $250 million grant before the hurricane destroyed Western North Carolina. And also before Hurricane Helene. Helene is a feminine interpretation of the term. Okay, Lucifer, another topic for another day. BlackRock purchased 2.2 million shares of the Albermarle Corporation. 2.2 million shares of the Albermarle Corporation, thereby going against the residents of Western North Carolina who opposed BlackRock's plan of constructing massive lithium mines, and thereby their homes became destroyed because of the hurricane. You see, there's no fear in the bishop. Western North Carolina, the devastation in Western North Carolina is the size of the nation of Belgium. I want you to hear me tonight. The devastation of our brothers and sisters in Western North Carolina is the size of the nation of Belgium. But yet, what's his name? Marcolis, what's his name? The Secretary of Homeland Security. He said everything is fine. These demons are lying. 700,000 people without power, without food, and no one is allowed to go into Western North Carolina unless they have a permit by the United States government. And did you see the black helicopters above Asheville, North? Who are they? Black, unnumbered helicopters. It's CIA. That's all it is. Thousands of bodies are floating in the rivers. It's a red Republican territory of MAGA patriots. But it's not going to work. The category of Hurricane Helene jumped from Cat 1 to Cat 3 in a matter of an hour and a half. Now it's up to a Cat 5. According to an op-ed through Reuters, op-ed July 26, 2024, cherry-picked comparison is not evidence the UK's weather manipulation man-made, or cherry-picked comparison is not evidence the UK's weather man-made. Well, who owns Reuters? The Rothschilds. France and Germany was also, and not just also, but they are, France and Germany are also doing weather modification exercises throughout the Caribbean, and also using the atmospheric research of weather warfare. France, not just the United States, France and Germany, because France and Germany wants their lithium too. All of this to build hybrid cars. It gets deeper, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. Haarp, the political weapon of intention. Type this in on google.com. Congressional reauthorization. Congressional reauthorization for the National Flood Insurance Program. On September 26, 2024, the day the Helene hit Western North Carolina, Joe Biden signed and extended the National Flood Insurance Program in conjunction with FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or the shadow government, to December 20th, 2024. Joe Biden extended the National Flood Insurance Program in conjunction with FEMA, who says they have no money. And why don't they have any money? Why are they broke? Because billions of dollars went to migrants. But Jean-Pierre said, well, that's not true, because the Washington Post fact check, billions of dollars went to migrants. But the patriots are drowning and the kids are drowning in Western North Carolina. Biden and Harris, they don't care, man. And billions, not just given to migrants, sent to Ukraine, sent to Lebanon. And there are coffins sent through FEMA to, not just to Georgia, but to Western North Carolina. Thousands of coffins. The Federal Emergency Management Agency and Congress have never failed to honor flood insurance contracts in those places where the NFIP policy stood. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Is your minds blown tonight? Is your minds blown? Put up those faces, ladies and gentlemen, if your minds are blown tonight. I had to get a drink of tea. The FEMA flood insurance, or the NFIP policies, do not cover those in Western North Carolina. Why? It's MAGA country. See, I have no fear, ladies and gentlemen. The NFIP policyholders, and their policies lapse. Thereby, FEMA will still have the authority to ensure payments to valid claims. However, FEMA, look at this, FEMA would stop selling and renewing policies for millions of properties in communities around the nation that we know are mostly conservative territories. There's an op-ed, June 30th, 2022, by Kerry Murakami, Kerry, K-E-R-Y, Murakami, M-U-R-A-K-A-M-I. Type on google.com, FEMA wants to end flood insurance for the nation's riskiest properties. Listen, North Carolina. Listen, Georgia. FEMA wants to end flood insurance for the nation's riskiest properties. State Farm and Allstate is no more covering these families and their properties, both in Southwest Florida, Georgia, and the western part of North Carolina. That was published February the 5th, 2024 by Lindsay Jacobson. I told you the bishop is an apostolic assassin. I'm a Pentecostal mercenary, right beside Pastor Colleen's name. But yet, what's his name, Mayorkas, the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, he's like, everything's fine. They're lying. Insurance payments are not to be made in areas that are deemed to be high risk by the United States government. FEMA says they're broke because billions have gone. Marcus, thank you, Pastor Colin, he's a demon. Now think about this. I've been trying to wrap my mind around this all day. You give illegal aliens billions and billions of dollars, homes, jobs, clothing, health care, magic cars. Listen, Haitians, but you're only offering the patriots in Maui a $700 check, and you're only offering the patriots in Georgia and Western North Carolina $750. The Democratic Party don't care about you. Listen. And the sad thing is, you got folk that will still vote Democrat because they're nothing but slaves. Lahania as well, Pastor Rick, $700. The Albermarle Corporation, Albermarle, Lithium Corporation, mine lithium for electric and hybrid cars, will begin in 2025. Lithium mines in the Kings Mountain in Western North Carolina. Write this down. Type this in on Google.com. Here comes receipts. Is your minds blown tonight? I said, is your minds blown? Put up those faces. Ladies and gentlemen, if your minds are blown tonight. Listen. On Google.com, write or type on Google.com, DOD enters agreement to expand domestic lithium mining for U.S. battery supply chains. DOD, Department of Defense, DOD enters agreement to expand domestic lithium mining for U.S. battery supply chains. Op-ed, September 12, 2023. It's on the U.S. Department of Defense website. Our own government is attacking us. Do you understand? Listen, and Pastor David, that's mind-blowing. And I'm saying to the patriots, I don't know what you're going through in Georgia. I don't know what you're going through in Western North Carolina, but do not apply for the $750. I'll tell you why. On the U.S. Department of Defense, DOD enters agreement to expand domestic lithium mining for U.S. battery supply chains in order to build electric and hybrid cars at the expense of the patriots in Western North Carolina. On the Department of Defense, the release article 352-2657. these demons are saying, I double dare you, expose, and that's what I'm doing. It talks about that deal. Again, DOD, the Department of Defense, enters an agreement to expand domestic lithium mining for the U.S. battery supply chains, opt-ed, September 12, 2023, on the U.S. Department of Defense website. It says that a $90 million deal between the DOD, Department of Defense, and the Albermarle Lithium Corporation, ALBEMARLE, that's owned by BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street, the same ones who were involved not just with the Maui, Hawaii catastrophe, but at least in East Palestine. What did they want in East Palestine? Lithium and traces of gold throughout East Palestine. The DOD and the Albermarle Lithium Corporation struck a $90 million deal in order for the United States government to help the Albermarle Lithium Corporation up and running by at least 2030. Listen, UN 2030. It gets deeper. I got to drink some tea before I say this. How many of you have heard of the legal term eminent domain? Now stay there in Revelation 6 and 2. Right, thank you, Pastor Steve. You see, it's right on the government's website, Department of Defense. The United States government, through eminent domain, which is the power of the United States government to take and to confiscate private property for public use. Listen, Georgia. Listen, Maui. Listen, Western North Carolina. The power of the U.S. government to confiscate private property for public use. The Albermarle Lithium Corporation, with the requirement to provide a fair compensation to the landowner, your $750. You know why many patriots were denied $750? I want you to hear me. The reason why many of the patriots who applied for the measly $750, they were denied. And you know why? Because those patriots don't own any property. They only rent. Why will Kamala Harris get up and say, we'll give you, if you apply for $750, she was authentic, but she was not transparent. What she should have said, only landowners will get $750. But if you don't own land, you don't own property in Georgia, in Maui, in Western North Carolina, and you apply, you'll get turned down because you don't own any land. That's the part that Joe Biden and this witch Kamala Harris did not tell you. Those patriots that were approved to receive the $750, they, unbeknownst to the landowners, sold their property through eminent domain to the United States government for $750. These demons, man. Wait a minute now. That's why the Patriots in Maui said, listen, we're not, you see, they think we're stupid. So in Maui, now they're saying, well, it was street lights, okay, that started the stop. It was energy weapons through the CIA that destroyed Lahaina. We got students there that had a lot of them had to move back to their homes in where they're from in the United States and throughout Europe. And I told them, listen, do not accept the $700 offer from Joe Biden because they want your land. And that $750 that this witch, Kamala Harris said, will give you $750 if you have to apply. But what she did not tell you, because of her lack of transparency, that you will have to give up your property, your land, for $750. There goes your opportunity economy. This is a scam at the expense of patriots throughout Georgia, Western North Carolina, and Maui, Hawaii. So I'm saying to the patriots, if you own property and land in Georgia, in Western North Carolina, in Maui, do not apply for the $700 to $750, okay, scraps. Because what Kamala Harris wants to do through her opportunity economy is to confiscate your land through eminent domain. So when you run through your little $750, you're on the street. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden stole your land through eminent domain, $750. These witches and these warlocks, and this is the reason why it is critically important for us to vote President Trump back in. Those who only rent property in Georgia, rent property in Maui, in Hawaii, and rent property in Western North Carolina, they were automatically disqualified to receive the $750 because they don't own any land. You see the scam. Eminent domain, according to the Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, states that private property cannot be taken for public use without a just compensation. But the founding fathers never imagined that the just compensation would be $750. That's the Democratic Party. Opportunity economy. The U.S. government can exercise eminent domain through multiple entities, including federal government, airport authorities, highway commissions, community development agencies, and utilities companies, including land interests called Lithium. Do not, thank you, Pastor Sippy. I'm praying. We got students throughout North Carolina, and a lot of them have sent us emails, not only to New York, but here a lot of them are fine. And a lot of them have moved outside of Western North Carolina, have moved, some moved have moved to Chicago. Some have moved out here to California. We got a couple who are students of ours. They moved to Portland, Oregon. They own, a cottage there in Portland, okay? Do not take the money. I want you to hear me. Come closer. Do not take the money. What is important? The $750 scraps or your land. Keep your land. Listen, patriots in Western North Carolina, keep your land. The U.S. government can exercise eminent domain through multiple entities, including through building federal government agencies in Western North Carolina, airport authorities, highway commissions, community development, Lithium, agencies and utility companies, Albermarle Lithium Corporation, opportunity economy. Kamato says, I'm not going to tell you my policies. Vote for me. Then it's too late. And to our patriots in Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris is lying to you. When she lied to the American public's face. When she lied to Dana Bash during that debacle of a pre-taping 17 to 18 minute interview. This witch, this warlock said that she never said that she would ban fracking in that 2020 debate against Mike Pence. She lied. I'll tell you what she said in that 2020 debate against Mike Pence. She said that Joe Biden would not ban fracking. She did not say that she would not. She's a lie. This is how demons and snakes operate. Half truths, half lies. She will ban fracking. She will destroy both the oil industry and the automotive industry. And why do you think that they want weather warfare? Listen, Georgia, listen, North Carolina, because they need the lithium to bring about the Green New Scam to destroy fracking in Pennsylvania, to destroy oil, and to destroy the automotive. It's lies upon lies. And she said in 2019 in a town hall that she would ban fracking. She's a lying piece of trash. Welcome to Venezuela. See, as the people in Venezuela under Maduro, they're eating out of garbage cans. They're eating out of trash cans. They're going to dumping sites and getting food and eating cats and dogs because Maduro has an opportunity economy. You got some ignorant people, oh, I don't like Trump because he's, okay, listen. Okay, why should you be so concerned about how President Trump acts? President Trump has a proven record. Not only is he authentic, he's transparent. But this witch, Kamala, she's a rope-a-dope. She will not tell you a straight-up answer. She will not give you an answer. When you ask her, will she approve reparations in her first 100 days in office? She'll go through the transatlantic slave trade and she'll spend 15, 20 minutes. In other words, black folk, she's not going to give you reparations. She'll give $150,000 to migrants in California. Listen, Gavin Newsom, to put down on a house, but she won't give you a dime. Listen, Chicago. Listen, you black folk, we've been paying taxes for generations. Here comes migrants. rapers and killers and robbers. We don't know who they are, where they're from, no ID, but they get the vote. Some of them get up to $20,000. Listen, Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, up to $20,000, depending how many children they have. What do you get? $750. An opportunity economy. Okay? And she has no kids of her own. Thank you, Pastor Benjamin Clark. Okay? Stay there in the text, Revelation 6:2. Harp, the political weapon of intention. Is your minds blown? Put up those faces if your minds are blown tonight. They let him out of prison. Thank you, Pastor Louise. And send them. Do you know we've had 13,099 killers, rapists, pedophiles that Kamala Harris let into this country. But this witch Jean-Pierre, okay, she said, well, let's fact check that. That's not true. It is true because ICE put out those stats. 13,099 killers, rapers, pedophiles. An opportunity economy. And I tell black folk, you're fools if you think that Kamala Harris is going to give you reparations. And you're fools if you think Kamala Harris cares about you. Talk to Jamal Truelove, who she sent to prison. She knew, listen, oh Lord, I don't want to, she knew that Jamal Truelove was innocent of murder. She didn't care. She put him in prison. Ask Jamal Truelove. Ask Johnny Baca. Ask George Gage. Some teenage girl whom Kamala Harris and the city of San Francisco paid off to lie against George Gage, stating that she saw George Gage rape his stepdaughter. That was a lie. Who paid her off? Kamala Harris. All of Kamala. But you got black sister. Brewster play. She'll be the first black. You see, there's the treadle. Okay. I don't want history. You want your mortgage paid, your rent paid. You want financial stability. You want the American dream. I don't care about history. We made that mistake with Obama. Do you understand? That's what she said, Pastor Barry. She said with the stroke of her pen, she said that she had the wheel. She was telling you that she was being authentic, but she wasn't transparent. But ask her how many white men did she put in prison. But yet she's married to. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not against interracial marriage. I'm teaching you a point. But the sad thing is you got black folk. Oh, this is systemic racism. Say there in Revelation 6:2, eminent domain, opportunity economy. That's right, Pastor David. She did, because she's a whore. The term eminent domain goes back not just to 1625 to the Dutch jurist Hugo Grotius, Grotius, but the legal term eminent domain goes back to the Roman Empire. Type this in on google.com. Serendipity, scientific discovery, and Project Cyrus. Did you hear that? Listen, I got an Apple little voicemail over here, and it's unplugged. You know, the devil is a lie. I got an Apple, you know, there's a little voice, you know, when I play my Christ Center music or light jazz. But this thing is unplugged. And it was, you see, it's demons. Listen. Serendipity, Scientific Discovery, and Project Cyrus, CIRRUS. It's a PDF copy by Walter Orr, ORR Roberts lecture. It gets deeper here. We may not have time to go into the text of Revelation 6 and 2. We'll save that for Thursday. Write this down on google.com. It's on the blackvault.com, on the Black Vault. Type in General Electric Research Laboratory Project Cyrus. General Electric Research Laboratory Project Cyrus, CIRRUS. Ladies and gentlemen, this is heavy. On page 3 on that Black Vault website, under General Electric Research Laboratory Project Cyrus, CIRRUS. On page 3, it says General Electric Research Laboratory, Department of Commerce and Labor. Laboratory, right beside Pastor Colleen's name. These are receipts. And Pastor Colleen knows this site. There's a site called archive.org/details/history of project. It's on the archive website under History of Project Cyrus, CIRRUS, History of Project Cyrus, compiled by Barrington S. Havens, Havens. Woo, thank you, Pastor Leonardo. Thank you, sir. It's on the archive website. You can actually see the pictures when you scroll, when you take that little dot and go from left to right on archive.org. History of Project Cyrus, CIRRUS, compiled by Barrington S. Havens on archive.org/details/history of project, or just go to archive.org and type in History of Project Cyrus, CIRRUS, compiled by Barrington S. Havens. When you get to that link on page 87, and we'll put up these links after tonight's lecture, on page 87, under Appendix 2, Project Cyrus Unnumbered Flight Test. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. Pastor Colleen, I love you so much. You see, because these are receipts. I love receipts, don't you? Right beside Pastor Colleen's name, you click on that link, and once you click on that link, take your mice or mouse, what do you call this, and go, or take your finger and take that little dot and go across that link. It would take you from page to page and chapter to chapter. But go to chapter 87 under Appendix 2, Project Cyrus Unnumbered Flight Tests. Okay? Please, you guys have to concentrate now. On page 87, under Appendix 2, it shows dates, location, and operation of weather manipulation going back to 1947. When you go to page 88, the Internet Archive, History of Project Cyrus, compiled by Barrington S. Havens. Page 88, it shows the flight numbers the dates, location, and operations from 1947 and 1948. From pages 89 to 94 is dry ice seating. Thank you, servant of Christ. From pages 89 to 94, going up to page 95, it shows the flight numbers, the dates, the location, and the operations from pages 89 to 95, where the federal government, through cloud seeding, through dry ice seeding, is conducting weather warfare on the United States people. This is evil, ladies and gentlemen. Also on that archive page, Project Cyrus, appendix number 4, Duncan Blanchard. He says observations of behavior of water drops of terminal velocity in air, November 1st, 1948, and the distribution of raindrops. Who thinks like this? The distribution of raindrops in natural rain, November 15th, 1949. These are sociopaths and psychopaths. You see, a psychopath is born, a sociopath is made. Thank you, Apostle Sam. Who owns the most shares in the Albermarle Corporation, Albemarle Corporation, out of Western North Carolina? BlackRock. East Palestine, BlackRock. Butler, PA, BlackRock. The assassin who tried to take out President Trump outside of his Mar-a-Lago estate, BlackRock. Lahania in Hawaii, Mount, all BlackRock. I'm going to say something that is radical, and I'm going to use wisdom too. And we, as patriots who work with President Trump, we said to President Trump, going back to the RNC convention in Milwaukee in July, President Trump, when you get in, you got to take out BlackRock. I want you to hear. I'm using wisdom. You have to take down BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard. These are the new Nazis. Allow me to use wisdom. Stay there in Revelation 6 and 2. Harp, the political weapon of intention. BlackRock, as of September 10th, 2 weeks before Hurricane Helene, September 10th, 2024, BlackRock owns 12,183,614 shares of the Albermarle Corporation in Western North Carolina. 10.4% of the company is owned by BlackRock, including Vanguard, listen East Palestine, including State Street, listen Maui, including the Franklin Resources Corporation, the Prime Cap Management Company, in the James Street Group LLC. According to the Security Exchange Commission's EDGAR database. Type this in. This is on Yahoo Finance. BlackRock Incorporation's INC apostrophe S strategic acquisition of Albermarle Corporation shares. Guru Focus Research opted September 11th, 2024, 2 weeks before Helene hit Western North Carolina. This is on Yahoo Finance. BlackRock Incorporation's INC apostrophe S strategic acquisition of Albermarle, Albemarle Corp or corporation shares. Guru Focus Research, op-ed, September 11, 2024, 2 weeks before Operation Helene. BlackRock must be destroyed. Come closer. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Jane Street must be destroyed. Now let's go back to eminent domain. The Latin term for eminent domain is the Latin Vulgate term dominium eminens. Allow me to pronounce that. DOMINIUM, dominium, then eminens or eminens, EMINENS, or which also means enemies. Dominium or dominium eminens, which is a Latin Vulgate term for eminent domain, meaning supreme lordship. Lordship with a small l, which means landlord. Eminent domain, students, I love teaching, goes back to the Roman Empire under Roman law, where the state is considered, the ultimate owner of all land. And the emperor, DC, could take possession of any property if it was deemed necessary for the public interest. BlackRock. Eminent domain is not a term of sovereignty. It's not a term meaning of the sovereignty for the masses of the people. Eminent domain is a term meaning the power of the state over its citizens that live within a vassal state. 53 states here in the United States are actually vassal states, where each state is a vassal state where citizens, constituents under Roman law, means they are house pets, are subjugated to the landlord of that state called the governor, where the citizens are not only called constituents, house pets, but they're also called peasants. The term as citizen or constituent under Roman law is a house pet, a peasant that is subservient to each landowner or governor in their state, where each vassal state, 53 states, are subjugated to the supreme ruler, not the president, but the beast system of the emperor, the 4 branches of government, 4 horsemen, the District of Columbia. The constituent is not just a house pet, a vassal peasant, but the term constituent under Roman law represents an ingredient that is regurgitated within the Roman law of the United States. The constituents, through the Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, guarantees a republic form of government to each vassal state in the Union. Each state is protected from another vassal state and from a foreign and dominant invasion of another state. In other words, what the government did to North Carolina was an invasion. Because in the Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, guarantees a republic. Well, stop right there. The United States, in the mind of God, was never designed to be a democracy, nor a Roman Empire structure called a republic. Let me get a drink. Listen, MAGA, we are MAGA patriots. The founding fathers only knew a government based upon the Roman Empire called the Republic. The Republic of Rome, upon which we stand, should be removed, and the words should be inserted as, upon the gospel, the word of Christ upon which we stand, one nation under Christ, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wait a minute. So Article 4, Section 4, under the founding fathers, who were all 33.5 degree Scottish Rite Masons, guaranteed a republic form of government to each vassal state in the Union of the United States, where each vassal state with a landlord governor is protected from another state. So Ohio is protected from Pennsylvania, which is protected from West Virginia, which is protected from Colorado, which is protected of Oregon. So wait a minute, each state is protected from another state and from another foreign and domestic invasion and violence of power. In other words, what the government did to the patriots in Georgia, to the patriots in Western North Carolina, was an invasion that went against Article 4, Section 4, where the United States government, through a political autoimmune disease move, attacked their own people, so that the land can be given to BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street and James Street, not just to build more lithium mines, to build electric and hybrid vehicles, sucking up to the squad of the new Green New scam. But also Western North Carolina would be land for the coming migrants. That's coming from Haiti, that's coming from Jamaica and Mexico. Listen, I'm not against anyone coming from our nation, but they got to come in right. So all of the patriots in Western North Carolina, you're going to be forced out by your government. And those of you in North Carolina who voted for Joe Biden, do you guys remember 4 years ago, I said, whatever happens to you, you deserve it. It is taking place. The United States government, and I relayed this to President Trump when I was in Milwaukee, it is not the perfect will of God for our nation to be a democracy, and it is also not the perfect will of God for us to be a Roman Empire republic. But it is the perfect will of God for our nation to be a theocracy. President Trump already knows this because I relayed this to him in Milwaukee back in July. We are a theocratic government built upon the gospel of Christ through the apostolic body, the tenets of the apostles, not upon the Republican Party, not upon the Democratic Party, or DEMOC, a demon for the people, of the people, by the people, and not through the state god of Greek demonology called the Republic, which is also a Roman Empire. In other words, most of these nations around the world are built upon a republic structure of Rome. Let me give you an example. The Third Reich, after World War II, the Third Reich went on to create NATO. I said the Third Reich. Those German generals went on to create NATO. They went on to create the EU. They went on to create the United Nations. Not just the League of Nations, the United Nations, NATO, EU. These organizations in Eastern, Western, and Central Europe was built by Nazis, including Zelensky, who's nothing but a Nazi. So the United States government is really not a republic. We're supposed to be a theocratic nation built upon the mind of God. Here comes the text. We're almost done after 2 hours and 2 minutes of laying foundation. Oh, Lord. Let's try to get 2,000 live listeners right now. Let's try to do Revelation 6:2. I'm almost done. Share this with all of the patriots. I said, share it with all of the patriots. Listen. Revelation chapter 6, verse 2. And I saw, and behold, a white horse. So you got a white horse in verse 2, a red horse in verse 4, a black horse in verse 5, and a pale horse, death, in verse 8. The nation of Yemen is housing global terrorists, not just of Al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas. They all must be liquidated and destroyed. A lot of them are in underground bunkers within the nation of Yemen, whose flag has the colors of white, red, and black. Yemen, that represents death. 4 horsemen, 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter. 4 horsemen, white, red, black, and pale. But also, ladies and gentlemen, there's a deeper connotation to this. In Revelation chapter 6, verses 2, 4, 5, and 8, it also represents the 4 branches of the beast called America. The white horse, the legislative branch, Revelation 6:2. The red horse, the executive branch, Revelation 6:4. The black horse, your black robes, the judicial branch, in Revelation 6 and 5, the color black, the Grim Reapers. And the fourth branch section of the beast of America, or the pale horse in verse 8 of death, is the deep state, the shadow government, your FEMA, your CIA, your NSA, your FBI, which controls the first three branches of the American government. 4 horsemen, 4 seasons, 4 colors, Yemen, shadow government. Revelation chapter 6, verses 2, 4, 5, and 8. Stay right there. How many of you have heard of Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates? Plato wrote a Greek scholarship writing called the Republic. The Republic is a Socratic dialogue language from the teachings of Socrates, written by Plato in 375 BC, called the Republic, which was a 4th century term, the Republic, meaning the mindset of not just Socrates, but the mindset of a Greek and Roman structured empire called protagonism. The Republic, where every individual, and this is what Plato said in 375 BC in the title of the Republic. He said that every individual is viewed as a vassal state that's subjugated to the landlord of their state, the governor, who then is subjugated to their emperor, not the president, the system of the 4 branches, the 4 horsemen, the legislative white horse, the executive branch red horse, the judicial branch black robes, black horse, and the pale horse in Revelation 6 and 8, the deep state that controls the first 3 branches. Plato said in 375 BC, within his writings called the Republic, that every individual is a vassal slave, peasant, subjugated to their vassal state, to their landlord, the governor, who is subjugated to the emperor. Not the president, but the system of the 4 branches of this Roman-style republic. The term republic also represents the dominant social system built upon Roman Empire law under the Latin Roman term jus civile. Jus space civile, civile, which means civil law. Trying to civilize humanity or an animal, because the term human in the Black's Law Dictionary in 1948, it means sea monster or monster. So don't ever call yourself human. You're not a monster. You are a child of God. The Roman Empire law called the 12 Tables, that goes back thousands of years during the time of the Roman Empire. And the 12 Tables were a codified set of laws written by 10 men called the Decemvirs. Decemvirs, the Decemvirs, who were overseen by the senior lawmaker Publius Ovid, from which we get the term public school. And the Roman Empire also created, along with the Republic, the term feudalism. Feudalism is the dominant social system going back to the Roman Empire, later in medieval Europe, in Eastern, Central, and Western Europe, where the black nobility, I want you to hear me, where the black nobility held lands, is your land grabs, held lands from the state crown, the governor, in exchange for military protection. The vassals, the citizens, the constituents, the house pets, the tenants, the peasants were obligated to pay a homage each week, taxes, which were given to the landlord of that state, the governor, that was sent to the emperor, the system of the government, so that the peasants could be controlled in exchange for military protection. That's why President Trump is a threat, because Trump is going to bring down this Republican system so that we can be free in Christ. Say there in Revelation 6 and 2, 6 and 4, 6 and 5, and 6 and 8. Module 1, Volume 1, Harp, the political weapon of intention. Is your minds blown? Put up those faces if your minds are blown tonight. Let me get a drink of tea. The Pledge of Allegiance. Now, somebody said, what does this have to do with North Carolina? You see, ladies and gentlemen, God led you here tonight so you could be free from the political weapon of intention called harp. Christ said, and I pray that your flight be not in the winter, Matthew 24, verse 20. And the key verse in Isaiah, through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 5, quickly, verse 12 and 13. He talks about God's people. Therefore, in Isaiah 5 and 12, and the harp, here we go, the harp in the violence, the tabret, the pipe, the wine, and in their feast, but they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operation of his hands. Why? Therefore, my people are gone into captivity. They have gone into the crab barrel system. It's not about blocking, it's everyone is in the crab barrel, not you and I. They have gone into the global crab barrel system, into the system of enslavement. Why? Because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst for the lack of truth. And here we go. The Pledge of Allegiance. Now stay there in Isaiah chapter 5, verses 12 and 13. I hope and pray you're taking notes. Harp, the political weapon of intention, module 1, volume 1. The Pledge of Allegiance was penned by a socialist. I'll get to his name. Let's concentrate on the term pledge. The term pledge is a Freemasonic rite of pledging through allegiance or the initiation of one's soul to the state. The term pledge means the undertaking, the initiation, where one presents themselves as collateral, as chattel property to the state, each state, with a governor or a landlord who then is subjugated to the system of the beast in Washington, D.C. Pledging, undertaking, initiation, where the individual presents themselves as a cursed collateral. Then the term allegiance is also a free Masonic rite of pledging. A part of the Pledge of Allegiance, which is a free Masonic ritual rite that goes back to 1891, where a socialist by the name of Francis Bellamy penned the Pledge of Allegiance. Remember the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the system scouting for a boy, the Girl Scouts, the system scouting for a girl, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, pedophilia. That's how it was created. Pledge of Allegiance is a free Masonic ritual rite, goes back to 1891 through the penmanship of a socialist by the name of Francis Bellamy, where the term allegiance is defined as a commitment to be a subordinate vassal citizen, a vassal peasant, a vassal house pet that is subjugated to a superior system. Subjugated to a superior system, a superior group, a superior cause, where the individual swears. Christ and also the apostles, including the apostle Paul, taught against swearing. No one who is apostolic should be a part of any secret society, and no one should be swearing. Wait a minute. So the term swear means vulgarity. To place a curse, cursing, profanity, and obscene mood subjugated to a superior system. I swear. It says, through vulgarity, I curse, a profanity, an obscene move subjugated to a superior system. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been lied to. Our nation is blessed, but what President Trump is doing, because President Trump is ordained by God, we got to topple this system of the shadow government so that Christ can reign through theocracy. Say there in Revelation 6:2, Matthew 24, verse 20, in the key text of Isaiah 5, 12, and 13. Harp, the political weapon of intention. Sam Bellamy was also a 33 1/2 degree Scottish Rite Mason who penned in 1891 the Pledge of Allegiance. Then in September 8th, 1892, it was published in the United States into every elementary school, junior high, high school, college, and university. The year before, in 1891, a socialist, Francis Bellamy, penned the Pledge of Allegiance. Also, the pledge of allegiance is the obligation of a feudal vassal slave to his or her landlord, the state governor, who in turn gives their life to the system, where the government becomes sovereign, but you become a citizen. We've been lied to. If you get an opportunity, Pastor Colin, if you're still there, go to Wikipedia, and I'm done. And once you guys get to Wikipedia, Pastor Colin, once you get to Wikipedia, type in Bellamy Salute. Bellamy, Bellamy Salute. From 1891 all the way up until December 22nd, 1942, the Pledge of Allegiance was not with the hand covering the heart. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. But the Pledge of Allegiance was through a Roman Empire outstretched hand that later the Third Reich perfected. From 1891 to December 22nd, 1942, the Bellamy Salute, every child, every teenager, every adolescent, every adult, with his elementary school, junior high, high school, college, university, community college, sporting events. From 1891 to 1942, they used the Bellamy Salute, which is actually the Roman Empire Salute, which I'm not going to do, which Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich picked up in 1933. That was Pledge of Allegiance with an outstretched hand, which we call a Nazi salute. Then after December 22nd, 1942, it went from an outstretched hand to a hand over the heart, which is another Masonic term meaning organ harvesting in connection to sacrificial ritualistic killings within the Freemasonic world. That's another topic for another day. Getting back to Project Cyrus. Oh, Lord have mercy. CIRRUS, Project Cyrus. Project Storm Fury from 1962 to 1983. And going back to 1947, Project Cyrus, October 13th, 1947, Project Cyrus through cloud seeding, where the United States Army, along with the United States Air Force, with the financial backing of General Electric and the Office of National Research in Washington, had conducted airplane flights over Florida. If you go on Google Image and type in air flight, Project Cyrus, 1947, it goes over southwestern Florida. Listen, Milton, nothing's by accident. Where did the term hurricane come from? Allow me to get my apostolic gangster lean in. Say there in Revelation 6 and 2, 6 and 4, 6 and 5, 6 and 8. Also say there in Matthew 24, verse 20, and the key text of Isaiah chapter 5, verses 12 and 13. Module 1, volume 1 of the political weapon, Haarp, the political weapon of intention. The term hurricane is a Tano word, T-A-I-N-O, that came up out of the Caribbean islands of Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and now what is called Puerto Rico, and also throughout Central and South America. The Tano people, T-A-I-N-O, had concocted the term hurricane which comes from the Tano term huracan, Huracan, which is an evil spirit of the wind in storm. The term hurricane is an evil spirit, a demon within Caribbean, Tanian demonology. Huracan, Huracan, an evil spirit or a demon of wind in storm. The Taino people, Taino, the Taino people worshipped a storm deity named Juracan, Juracan, that came all the way from the Mayan demon god of the wind, Huracan, Huracan, the demon principality, Mayan god of wind. You see, what happened to North Carolina and Georgia is demonic. You see, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, because the term hurricane, the name of a Mayan principality, demon of storm, the term cyclones, from which we get the term cyclop, third eye, or encyclopedia. Encyclop, third eyepedia. Cyclones, a name also of a Mayan demon. Typhoon, typhoons, or to the moon god Allah, a Middle Eastern demonic deity. Typhoons, to rondo or tornado. Torn or torn, NATO. Listen, Europe, NATO. Tornado is a Spanish term meaning to coil as a serpent. Thunderstorm, to coil. Weather that's been divinated. Type this in on google.com. BlackRock completes acquisition of global infrastructure partners. It's on BlackRock's website. BlackRock completes acquisition of global infrastructure partners opt-in October 1st, 2024 on BlackRock's website. They must be stopped, ladies and gentlemen. BlackRock must be stopped. Vanguard must be stopped. State Street, these are tentacles of the Luciferic system. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. You see, ladies and gentlemen, these are receipts. And you got people, Pastor Rick, I don't believe this class is not for you, right beside Pastor Colleen's name. Where through the acquisition of the Global Infrastructure Partners Group, or GIP, a major acquisition of the global market of lithium. They're telling you who they are. BlackRock's website. They must be stopped. Larry Fink, you will be stopped. Blackstone, listen, Steven Schwarzman, you'll be stopped. James Street, Vanguard, State Street, they will be stopped. Type this in on google.com. DeSantis said citizens' property insurance is not solvent. DeSantis said citizens' property insurance is not solvent. Fact check. That's on the Tampa Bay Times. Op-ed March 15th, 2024. What Governor DeSantis was saying, that through the Citizens Property Insurance Corporation, which holds 1.2 million policies in Florida, North Carolina, and Georgia alone. All of those, this goes back to March. Governor DeSantis was warning the American people in Florida, in Georgia, in North Carolina, that the Citizens Property Insurance Corporation, which holds 1.2 million policies in Florida, in North Carolina, in Georgia, battleground states, your homes are not solvent. In other words, if a hurricane destroys your home in Georgia, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, then FEMA, including the Citizens Property Insurance Corporation, will not cover the costs, the insurance liability of your home. Who owns the Citizens Property Insurance Corporation? Larry Fink. Battleground states are being targeted by the federal government. Let me use wisdom. We're in a war against our own government. But Pastor's saying no weapon. You can send jets and planes and black helicopters, cloud seeding, ice cloud seeding, weather warfare, modification, manipulation, but no weapon that is formed against the patriots will ever prosper. It will be formed, but it will never prosper. And those citizens, Lord forgive me, those patriots, sovereign patriots, in Georgia, Florida, and North Carolina, they will vote for president. If they got to get a boat to go to a voting booth, they will vote for President Trump. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Listen. Oh, Lord have mercy. Citizens Property Insurance is scamming the patriots of Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina, battleground states. Now, Haarp. Let me get a drink of tea here. Listen. Let's get 2,000 live listeners. Hit that like button right now. Hit it right now. I double dare you. Hit the like button right now. Do that. And if you're not subscribed to Global Spiritual Revolution Media Group, subscribe right now on YouTube. Now, here's Haarp. Now, remember, in the key text of Isaiah 5, verse 12, in the harp, including the viol, the tablet, the pipe, the wine, and the feast, but they regard not the work of the Lord. You and I are the work of the Lord, but the system, through a political, spiritual, autoimmune political fight, is destroying its own body, but it will not work. Harp, high frequency active aura research program goes back to 1993. It's a scientific facility in the state of Alaska for the global modification of the ionosphere through weather warfare. Established in 1993 at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, which is a CIA hotbed. Billions of dollars from the CIA, the NSA, American intelligence, went to build HAARP, ladies and gentlemen, the High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program, to target you and I. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. Who else is involved with HAARP? U.S. intelligence, the Pentagon, the U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Navy. Listen, DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, connected to the U.S. Pentagon, where trillions of dollars are missing from the Pentagon going back to 9/11. That's why President Trump has chosen Elon Musk to oversee the auditing of not just DARPA and ARPA and the Pentagon, but the entire U.S. government. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, through the Pentagon, helped build HAARP in 1993, along with the Bay Advanced Technologies, BAE. HAARP incurred $250 million in tax-funded construction bids in 1993, whereas they are all throughout Western North Carolina. That's your black helicopters. In connection from DARPA to IARPA, AIARPA, the Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity Agency, through U.S. intelligence. So you have DARPA, Western North Carolina. You have IARPA, Western North Carolina, destroying the land of the patriots so that BlackRock can build lithium mines to build hybrid and electric cars, to destroy the automotive in the oil and gas industry, and to provide land for migrants. And that is it tonight, after 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 25 seconds of Module 1, Volume 1 of HAARP, the Political Weapon of Intention, and I thank you. Replacement migration. The CIA project, listen, Cyrus goes back to 1997, and look at the trajectory of, on a map on Google Images, of Project Cyrus, of the movement of that hurricane, that demon back in 1947, the same trajectory of Milton now. CIA projects, Storm Fury, Cyrus, Storm Fury. Also, the CIA project. Listen, you're not going to hear this through the media. Thank God for my contacts. Listen, the CIA has a project also called Project Satan Feudalrama. Wait a minute now. Project Satan Feudalrama. Feudurama. Project Satan Feudalrama. Project Gateway. Project Thunderstorm. Project Sunstreak. Project Azorian. Azorian. In connection to the WMO, the World Meteorological Organization, where every 6 years the names of hurricanes are rotated every 6 years. Katrina, Sandy, Haiyan, Haiyan, Merity, Meranti, Harvey, Irma, Michael, Helene, Milton. These names are invoked to place additional curses through these weather modifications so that the impact in Georgia, in North Carolina, can be so destructive as to leave curses in those states forever. But it's not going to work. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what they want to do, Pastor Corey. They choose names. Katrina was the name of a witch during the time of the Italian Renaissance. Harvey was the name of a warlock during the time of the Italian Renaissance. It is not by accident that they choose and pick these words. In the term hurricane is the name of a Mayan principality demon, Hurricane. A demon that coils like a tornado. The eye of the storm is the eye in the back of the dollar bill on the top of the pyramid. Same thing. Harp, the political weapon of intention. You and I, ladies and gentlemen, are in a war against our own government. But guess what? We've already won. The deep state overplayed their hand, sending out black helicopters to destroy through wind foodstuff and medical supply. These are demons that you're talking about, that you're dealing with. We have Christ. And when you have Christ, you have it all. Was your minds blown this evening? I said, was your minds blown? Put up those faces if your minds were blown this evening. To the patriots in Georgia, to the patriots in North Carolina, come close. Do not apply. Let me wipe some of the anointing off. Listen. Do not apply for the $750 mess of pottage that the witch Kamala Harris is serving to you, because what she wants you to give your land through eminent domain to the U.S. government for $750. Do not give this witch, do not give away your land. Because DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and IARPA, the Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity Agency, DARPA, Pentagon, IARPA, U.S. Intelligence, they want to build not just Western North Carolina. This is a nationwide, this will be a nationwide model. We are in a war, patriots. And I'm speaking to black people, not you guys, because you guys already know the truth, especially to black men and women. Do not allow these devils, these black skulls and bones of Shaquille O'Neal, okay, Charles Barkley, okay, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, to tell you to vote for this witch. She doesn't care about you. You're not going to get your reparations. But your money, listen, Black Chicago, your money is given to migrants. New homes, cars, thousands of dollars. But you in the south side of Chicago, tax-paying patriots, you put the Democratic Party first. They put you last, as Malcolm X said, because they want you to be a chump. It's time to come home to your Christ-centered conservative roots. You're not getting reparations here in the state of California. Gavin Newsom is going to sign with the pressure from this other witch, okay? Nancy Pelosi will give every migrant, killer, raper, I don't care who they are, $150,000 in the form of a check for a down payment on a house, and they won't even have to apply. But you, black man, black woman, you're not going to get no reparations. Gavin Newsom doesn't care about you. Nancy Pelosi doesn't care about you. Joe Biden doesn't care about you. Okay? Joe Biden is a straight up racist. Joe Biden was against the integration of black and white kids during the busing crisis of the early 70s. Joe Biden, when he was the senator of Delaware, said, I'm not going to allow my kids to get on these buses with animals. But yet black folk voted him in 4 years ago. Why? Because you're fools. Not you guys. I'm talking to black America in the black diaspora. You're not going to get any reparations. This witch is going to ban fracking, which would be the end of both the oil industry and the automotive industry. Why do you think that they want lithium from Southwest Florida? Listen, Milton, why do you think they want lithium throughout the state of Georgia? Why do you think they want lithium in Western North Carolina? To build the Green New Scam, to ban fracking, so they can build hybrid and electric cars. That would be the end of the United Automotive Workers Union. It would be the end of Chrysler, GM, and Ford. Ladies and gentlemen, we have less than a month left for the elections. If you have not registered to vote, you need to register right now. The Democrats are spending hundreds of millions of dollars. They got us beat on ground games right now. We need to match that and destroy them. It is imperative that you register to vote, because if this witch, Kamala Harris, is elected, it is the end of our nation as we know it. Millions of migrants will come across the border through migration replacement protocols. All your money is going to migrants. Billions of dollars will continue to go to Ukraine, to Lebanon, to destroy the Palestinians. Yes, Hamas must be destroyed, but not Palestinian babies. It is important. Early voting. Thank you, Pastor Sam. And I was telling President Trump back in July, make sure you got lawyers in every single state and every single town and village. He said, Bishop, we got it covered. Lawyers with video cameras. So that way, no shenanigans will happen this time. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, like this, not just this video, this lecture, but subscribe to our movement. Subscribe right now. Global Spiritual Revolution Media Group, Los Angeles, New York. Okay. You see, when you have to cheat, they've already lost. Thank you, Pastor Kelly. Thank you so much. Woo! I've been asked to do that, servant of Christ. I'll be announcing that soon. Not just one, but two Trump campaigns, okay? So I'll be announcing that soon. One in New York, okay? And one in South Carolina. Thank you, guys. Oh, my God. The RNC Arizona recently quit. Lord have mercy. I was invited to cover a red carpet event today in Arizona, but I said no, because, our classes are first. Thank you guys for being with the bishop. We need your financial help. All of the moderators, please put up our PayPal link, okay? Bishop, do we register to be an elector too? Yes, you have to register in your hometown where you live now. Great question, Pastor TV. Within your town, your city, your county, find out, call the local Republican Party office, okay? Do that and register to vote, okay? We are exposing illegal immigrants here in California. They're trying to vote Apostle Rick, Apostle Ellis, and they don't even have an ID. That's not going to work because they can go from one state to another, vote with the same name or a different name. PayPal.me /GSR Armenia Group, right beside Pastor Colleen's name, right beside Apostle Sam's name, right beside Apostle Ellis Ewing's name, also right beside Apostle True Witness Ministries name. Praise God, right beside Pastor Charity's name. Take this, ladies and gentlemen, or take your finger and click on PayPal.me /GSR Armenia Group. And after, don't leave us live, listeners. After you click on the PayPal link, then click send. Don't click request, click send. And plant. We don't use the word sow here at Global Spiritual Revolution Media Group because the word sow is the name of a female hog or pig. That's what the Vatican tried to do to the word. We use the word plant the Lord's tithe. If your gross on your check is 3,000, then the Lord's tithe is 300. If your gross on your check is 2,000, the Lord's tithe is 200. If your gross is 1,000, the Lord's tithe is 100. Plant the Lord's tithe. And in the very same transaction, PayPal.me /GSR Armenia Group, then plant $100 or more, $100, $200, $300. You should put that popcorn, $400, $500, $800. 3 of you give $1,000, okay? We got students from all walks of life, Pastor Kelly. We got brothers in the NBA, a few, not a lot, a few brothers in the NFL. We got a few brothers in the NHL, actually 3, not a lot. We got brothers, praise God, who are politicians, Republican and Democrat, believe it or not, who give $1,000 each week. Do your best, ladies and gentlemen. 3 of you give $1,000. The rest of you give your best. Plant, praise God, the Lord's tithe. And in the same transaction, right beside Apostle Sam's name, PayPal.me /GSR Armenia Group. Take this or your finger, click on the PayPal link. After, ladies and gentlemen, you click on the PayPal link, then click send. Don't click request, click send. Plant the Lord's tithe and plant $100 or more. Thank you, everyone. Great to see all of you guys. Woo! Listen, we got law enforcement too. Oh, thank you, Pastor Servant of Christ. Lord have mercy. We got law enforcement too, not just lawyers. We got cops who are students. Oh, thank you, Servant of Christ, Leo. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Love you, sir. Oh, my God. Law enforcement too. They're the real heroes. 99.9% of law enforcement men and women are actually beautiful patriots. It's always the 1% who are bad apples, okay? But 99.9% of the men and women in blue, we support 1,000,000,000,000%, okay? In my conclusion, right beside Apostle True Witness Ministries name, right beside Pastor Colleen's name, right beside Apostle Sam's name. Take this or your finger, whether you have a desktop, laptop, ladies and gentlemen, you have an Android or iPhone or an Apple tablet or Chrome tablet or a Apple Watch. Click on the link. Thank you, Pastor Casey. Love you, many thanks, my bishop. Thank you, Pastor Diane Casey. That really means a lot. Right beside Pastor Charity's name, after you click on the PayPal link, then click send, plant $100, and in the same transaction, plant $100 or more. I thank God for all of you guys giving each week, and also for Pastor Chris Harris out of Long Beach. Thank you, man of God, for your giving, both the Lord's tithe and your free apostolic offerings. Praise God. Thank you, Pastor Chris. Thank you, Apostle Sam, all you guys. Also, the bishop has a P.O. box. Our ministry has a P.O. box right beside Pastor Colleen's name. You can mail your checks or your money orders in care of Bishop Larry Gators or Larry Gators, P.O. Box 161, Lomita, California, Lomita, California. Zip code is 90717. Bishop Larry Gators or Larry Gators, P.O. Box 161, Lomita, California, Lomita, Lomita, California, 90717. When you're sending a money order, please only use post office money orders. But the rest of you, all of you, go to paypal.me/GSRR Mini Group. PayPal.me/GSRR Mini Group. Thank you, Apostle Ellis Ewing. We also have a Cash App. Apostle Ewing, if you can put up our Cash App, and also Apostle True Witness and Pastor Sam, Pastor Colin, if you can put up our Cash App. Our Cash App is $ then Global Revolution in the number 1, okay? Again, $ then the letters Global Revolution is an all upper capitalized letters. $ right under Pastor Colin's name. $ then Global Revolution in the number 1. Love Brother Nino. Definitely let him know. We will definitely give him a call, okay? Definitely we will do that. Love Brother Nino. True man, a man's man, a great patriot who's doing a powerful work, not only for Christ, but also for our nation. Right under Apostle Ellis Ewing's name, $ then Global Revolution in the number 1. Hi, Bishop. I'm in North Carolina, but where I am, we didn't get hit as bad as others. Northwest of me, my heart breaks for my neighbors. So, Pastor Tammy, we're praying for you. My heart breaks. I was told today, Pastor Tam and Pastor Sam, that there are babies floating on the top waters of rivers and streams. Babies, children. Not 200, but into the thousands. Now, listen, I want to be careful because, you know, I don't want us to get a strike or be taken down by the deep state, by YouTube. So I gotta use wisdom. Don't give us a strike. YouTube, don't take us down. See, this is sad, ladies and gentlemen. Pastor Dobro Watts, this is sad. But why is FEMA broke? Because they're sending migrants billions of dollars, shipping them to New York City, Cleveland, Ohio, Chicago, LA, Portland, Springfield, Ohio. That money is supposed to go to you and I, the American patriots, not to some illegal alien. I don't hate them. But why is this government doing this? It's political power, it's votes. You're sending migrants. They are flying migrants in from Haiti, from the Dominican Republic, from Mexico, from the Honduras, from Nicaragua. They are flying these illegals in to major cities all over the world, but especially to red conservative states like Oklahoma, Ohio, okay, Texas, Nebraska, because these Democrats want to stay in power, but it's not going to work. They said the smell is so bad in some areas, my God. And there's dogs and cats floating along with babies. But what does Kamala do? She comes down in her $1,000 pair of high heels, says, our heart is broken, and we're going to give you a $750 check, but you need to apply. But what she did not tell you, that unless you actually own property in North Carolina, you're disqualified of receiving $750. And if you do own property, they will give you the $750, but they will take away your land, your property. So do not apply. For those of you who own property throughout Georgia, throughout, including Southwest Florida, and especially in Western North Carolina, do not apply for the scam of the $750 check, because they're going to take away your land, your property through eminent domain. Woo! President Trump went down there, I think, a day or two. He got down there before the restrictions took place. You and I can't go down there without a permit from the government, okay? Some already did. Thank you, Pastor Tammy, okay? So my staff, not just in New York, but our small staff here, they said, Bishop, we got to go down there. We got to get the Patriots out of there some way, somehow, okay? And we're going to do just that. Right beside Apostle True Witness Ministries name, right beside Apostle Ellis Ewing's name, paypal.me/GSR Media Group. I saw that on a news flash. This is sad. Kamala Harris. Did you see her on The View? These witches on The View. There is a girl that's on The View who used to work in the Trump administration. I can't remember her name, but she committed treason by bashing her former boss. President Trump did nothing to her, but she's a political and financial whore working for The View for these witches on ABC. Terrence is cooking pancakes. Listen, I need to get down there. I mean, my staff, not just in New York, but here, they're saying, Bishop, we need to get down and let's cook them food. Let's get down there. They want to go down, Pastor Tammy. So listen, if you want, Bishop to come directly to you, and I'm going to use my contacts in the government to circumvent the need to have a permit, okay? Woo! Candace Owens needs to go into it. She has to expose them. Terrence is a good man, okay? So we're going to go down there. We're going to cook. We're going to give them meals. Listen, so send us an email, okay, at Global Spiritual Revolution Radio at yahoo.com. Global Spiritual Revolution Radio at yahoo.com. Pastor Carl, if you can put up that email, and we're done here today. Global Spiritual Revolution Radio at yahoo.com, okay? Praise God. Praise God, Pastor Dave. So a lot of patriots want the bishop to come down. Please come down. I used to do, you guys don't know this, but Bishop used to do some white water rafting near Asheville, North Carolina, at a river called the Nantahala River. Years ago, all of that is destroyed, okay? God bless you, Bishop. Those people need you. Thank you, Pastor Solar Flare. So we're going to plan to go down there real soon and praise God and cook for them, okay? And give them some clothing to have some classes there, praise God. Oh, my Lord. The road is wiped away. Lord, have mercy. Pastor Sam, this is sad. There are videos of families taking pictures of videos of the water coming toward their cabins and taking them. They knew they was going to die, but for posterity. Because this government, this witch, is a daughter of Lucifer. I said it. Kamala Harris is a daughter of Lucifer. And those few black folk that she was speaking to, Pastor Nick Jackson, they were not from the area. They were flown in from Atlanta, Georgia, and paid for a photo op. But she didn't want to see any white folk. Oh my God. But it's okay. Trump is going to win. Bishop, you were sit down with, listen, oh yes, I've got my staff. There are students all over the world who want me and Candace to sit down. We're going to have a sit down. Powerful young woman. Praise God. Thank you, guys. Nino was talking about that. Thank you, Pastor Nino. So, patrons, we need to get down to North Carolina. And Pastor Sam, I'll be calling you soon, and Apostle Jody Bird, for the bishop to get down to North Carolina. I'm going to circumvent the need to have a permit from the government, okay? She's a witch, Pastor Renee. We have to pray for her. It's not her, it's the demons that are driving her, because she's so dangerous. She would do anything, and I mean anything, for power, and that makes her dangerous. Ooh, one day soon, Yeshua takes his children very soon. He's coming back. North Carolina, you got the victory. Georgia, you got the victory. Florida, you have the victory, okay? David Nino Rodriguez, he's a man's man. Love that brother. I was on his show a couple of years ago. See, my schedule is so busy. And not just covering red carpets. I went to the SAG-AFTRA, headquarters, and I got a lot of people from SAG who are students. But every other day, I am on some radio show or podcast, either by Zoom or by phone, somewhere from around the world, by phone or through Zoom, every other day. And my staff here and my staff in New York has already scheduled 25 guest appearances on radio shows and podcasts the week leading up to the election, okay? 10, 15 minutes city. That's it, okay? But you know what? No weapon. Black folk, they need, listen, oh, thank you, Apostle saying, Black folk, you need to lead these fraternities and sororities. Your divine nine, all of that is Rockefeller Foundation money. You're not you guys, but Black folk who are Black Boulais of the Black Skulls and Bones, you're nothing but slaves. Thank you guys for being with the bishop today. And yes, Diddy is dead. And to the average person, they won't believe this, but the Diddy that you're going to see in court is not him. They took him out 4 months ago. 4 months ago. He's gone. Did I not prophesy that, Pastor Sam? I don't know why people don't listen. I said the same thing. Diddy is dead. And guess who is next? Jay-Z. He's out of the country. He's in Costa Rica where there's no extradition. But Trump said he's going after all of them. He's coming after all of them. Black, white, Latino, he's coming after all of them. Jay-Z, Beyonce, okay? Rush, what's his name? The R&B singer, what's his name? Rush? Oh my God. I'm telling you, they're all going down. All of them are going down. Thank you, guys. One more time. Thank you, Pastor Diane. Moderators, if you can put up the P.O. box, it is in care of Bishop Larry Gators. Usher, thank you, Pastor Poker. I keep calling him Rush. Usher, he gave Justin Bieber over to Diddy for 48 hours, okay? They will be exposed publicly, Pastor Lucinda. This was prophesied back in March, okay? There you go, Pastor Diane, right beside Pastor Colleen's name. P.O. Box 161, Lomita, California, 90717. There you go, Pastor Diane. It's right beside Pastor Colleen's name, in care of Bishop Larry Gators, P.O. Box 161, Lomita, California, 90717. Okay. They're trying to get, matter of fact, let me announce this. Justin Bieber will testify against all of these people. Justin Bieber, compare the photos of Justin Bieber when he was innocent, this innocent little white kid coming to Hollywood, and look at him now. He's destroyed. Okay, but he's trying to get his life back. His wife just had a child. Okay, and these little homosexual preachers, they're going to be exposed. Usher exposed. Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're next. Jennifer Lopez exposed. Usher exposed. Okay. Kendrick Lamar exposed. He's going to be singing at the Super Bowl, but he's going to be exposed. Okay. Clyde Davis exposed. Listen, Lyron Cohen exposed. Kirk Franklin exposed. Drake exposed. Who was the young rapper who got killed? He was found in his car. They called him Triple X. What's his name? What was his stage name? Had a long name, Triple X or something. Kendrick Lamar. He's going to be exposed, Pastor Crystal. But the brother they found, and this is on YouTube. Thank you, Triple X. Was it tension? All these things. Triple X, tension. Is it tension? 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 He was found dead. There was a video of him in I think a car dealership. He was looking at some motorcycles. He knew that his time was up. But who took him out? Drake. Because this young man was exposing Drake. Now, Drake is in the war against who? Is it Kendrick Lamar? Correct me if I'm wrong. They're all going down, ladies and gentlemen. Drake, Usher, okay? Kendrick Lamar. They're all going down. And don't make it a black and white thing, because Clyde Davis is going down, okay? He murdered Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's mother just passed. But she was set to testify, okay, before a grand jury about her daughter. And she was also set to sign a legal affidavit before the FBI concerning Clyde Davis. All of a sudden, I know her mom was 91, but all of a sudden she dies, okay? Now he doesn't know Peter. You know what's that, Pastor Sam? You don't know Timothy, right? They're all download club. Let's keep it real. All the download club. See, all of that stuff. You guys remember when Cat Williams was on Club Shay's podcast? He says it's coming. I said the same thing last year. It's coming. They won't believe us. Okay. Billy Graham, a 33rd and 1.5 degree Mason. Okay. All these people, right? Left center, they're going down. Okay. They say she had Alzheimer's, Pastor Selena. But I was told she didn't have that. Okay. And listen, it's sad. It really is. This is the year of exposure. Thank you, Pastor EJ. Aaliyah, you're going to get your revenge. Who took out Aaliyah? Jay-Z, because he wanted his girl Beyonce to take her place. See, Jay-Z wanted Aaliyah, but Aaliyah didn't want him. Okay? Keefy D will be killed. Okay? Well, listen. Oh, my God. Jay-Z is mad. Did you see that? I saw the interview. Jack Wright was on Piers Morgan's show. And I'm praying for Jack Wright. Sister Wright, the system has marked you for death. Call me. Get a hold of me. The system has put a hit on you, Jaguar. Okay? Thank you, everyone, for joining the bishop tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Who is this girl? This woman, she's been on, what's her name? Vanna White. She used to be on the Wheel of Fortune. She's going to be leaving the Wheel of Fortune because she doesn't like the new host. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But there's something that she found out about him, and she said she's leaving. What's his name? He used to be on American Idol. He used to be with Ryan Seacrest. Thank you, Pastor Peachy. Okay. And Vanna White is a conservative. She says she found out something on Ryan Seacrest. She said she's leaving after 40 years. Okay. PayPal.me/GSR Media Group. Vanna White, she's a good person. Met her twice. Okay. She's a good person. I was shocked. She said she was a conservative. She's a good person. Okay. She's been with him 40 years. She's a multi-millionaire 50 times over. PayPal.me/GSR Media Group right beside Pastor Sam's name. Okay. Thank you, Pastor Charity. Did you hear the news? More of Mayor Adams' people are turning state evidence against Mayor Adams. He's going to prison. But let me tell you the reason why. See, he gave them bullets. He gave the government bullets to shoot him. You see, the reason why they're going after Mayor Adams, because he was exposing the migrant crisis. And when you do that, the hand that feeds you, they'll come after you, okay? No white folk are supporting him, okay? Mayor Adams, he's in trouble, okay? Kwame Kilpatrick is rising slowly, okay? He did the right thing of supporting President Trump, okay? Oh, my God. Listen, so Mayor Adams, I got to expose him. Thank you, Pastor Sam. Mayor Adams is going down. He embezzled millions of dollars of funds coming from the coffers of New York City for extravagant vacations, trips all over the world, trips to Turkey, Mexico, and South Korea, and will give kickbacks to the South Korean embassy in New York, to Turkish embassy in New York, the Mexican embassy in New York, kickbacks. You see, it's called corruption. My mind has been blown tonight. Woo! Thank you, Miss Keep It Real. Thank you so much. I don't know too much about Yolanda Adams. She's quiet. I heard she got away from this gay and lesbian element in the gospel music. Listen, Kirk Franklin. I don't know too much about what Yolanda is doing now, but we will definitely find out. They're all rattling on him. You see, they're ratting on him, Pastor Charity, because they're rats jumping out of a sinking ship. New York City is coming down. Millions of migrants are in New York City. When the left says, oh, it's a housing crisis. Oh, yeah. Because migrants are taking up the housing. Okay. There's no housing for the American patriots because they're giving. Why are they doing this? Migrants. President Trump is going to deport over 20 million of these migrants. Pete Rose passed. I heard about that, Pastor Benjamin Clark. What, did he have a heart attack? I don't know. I know Pete Rose was warned by the mob to keep his mouth shut about him betting on baseball, okay? Woo, my Lord have mercy. Thank you guys for being with the bishop tonight. Was this a powerful teaching? Apostle saying, was this a powerful teaching? This was Christ's teaching through the bishop, okay? This was Christ's teaching through the bishop, okay? Thank you guys for being with the bishop today. And thank you, Apostle Sam. And I'm praying for Travis Kelce that he leaves this witch, okay? This Taylor Swift demon. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. I'll see you guys Thursday. Pray for the bishop. hold me up in prayer. Hold me up. I'm on the front line, fighting and battling for the kingdom of God. I would never wear a dress. I would never be butt broke. I would never wear lipstick. I would never bend over, because no weapon that's formed against this man of God will ever prosper. I'm a contract assassin. I am a Pentecostal mercenary for Christ. Don't give us strike, YouTube. Don't take us down. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about assassinating demons in the spiritual realm. God bless you. I'll see you guys Thursday for Module 2, Volume 2 of Haarp, the political weapon of intention. And I thank you. Thank you, everyone. Right beside Pastor Charity's name, paypal.me/GSR Media Group. Mayor Adams, he's going to jail. New York City is going down. It's to my understanding, Pastor Charity, to our students in New York, that the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, is running to be mayor. Okay? He's running to, now he's supporting President Trump. Did you know that? Andrew Cuomo is supporting President Trump. He said, I made a mistake with the C funds. I'm not going to say what C is. He said, I'm owning it. Okay? And I want to run for mayor, okay? So thank you, guys. And even Chris Cuomo, love that brother, met him in Milwaukee. He's even apologized to President Trump, okay? You see? Good night, moderators and everyone. Continue to use wisdom, Bishop. Thank you, Pastor Sam. I will definitely continue to use wisdom. God bless you. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Good night from Los Angeles. Pray for the bishop. Hold me up in prayer. Oof. Pray for President Trump. Hold him up in prayer. We are going to get our country back. Thank you. In Christ's holy name, Psalm 91. Good night from Los Angeles. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Good night. The bishop loves every one of you. Love you. God bless.